Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Phil Brilliant. It is Simply Brilliant. And today is Thursday, the 18th of December, 1 week until Christmas, 4 nights of Hanukkah left. And we are rounding down to 13 days left of 2025, a year that has freaking gone by fast. The old saying of that the older you get, the faster years go and the faster time goes. It is true. I can remember New Year's Day last year as if it was yesterday. And this has been a year in Tom's River. And, I'm very thankful that people actually reach out to me and say, hey, where's your video? I couldn't find it. Or, what's going on in Tom's River? And most of the people are from Tom's River. So this morning, I'm trying to still get my head around what happened last night. And if you're from Tom's River, you need to pay close attention to what goes on in Tom's River because there's a lot of crap happening every day. Um, and if you're not from Tom's River, you know, you need to watch what's going on in Tom's River and make sure it never happens where you live. So yesterday, started, or actually, I guess 2 days ago, it really started with this battle between Daniel Rodrick, who's the mayor of Tom's River, taking on Superintendent Mike Citta. And it kind of goes back a couple months because, again, Superintendent Citta's contract is up June 30th of 2026. So now is the time you need to start negotiations, you need to figure out, what you're doing. And, you know, he's the best person for the job. Here's a man who has always put Tom's River before himself, whether it be as a teacher, whether it be as a principal. He took a teacher's salary as a principal because there was financial issues in Tom's River, and probably left about 670,000 dollars on the table over I think a 5 year period or a 3.5 year period. And so, excuse me, now he's superintendent. He is a lifetime Tom's River resident. His family goes back to the 1800s in Tom's River. Uh, he graduated from Tom's River High School North, going through the school system, came back home. I make the comment all the time that sometimes I don't necessarily understand how many people in Tom's River were born and raised in Tom's River. Because, again, I grew up in Franklin Township, Somerset County. I was not staying there. I knew I wasn't staying there, and I got up and got out. Uh, but people love Tom's River. People who come here don't leave. It is a great place to live, a great place to raise your family. But right now, we have this thorn in everybody's side, Daniel Rodrick, Daniel Rodrick, Daniel Rodrick. And it became very evident last night at the Board of Ed meeting. So Roderick takes this fight public. Sitta lodges a letter back, and there's Maria Matarazzo, who is a Toms River board member, along with Paolo Pascarella, who's a Toms River board member, and I'm talking about Board of Education. Both are Roderick confidants. No way to argue around that. Matarazzo works in the zoning and code enforcement of Toms River. Her husband got a job at the Toms River MUA. He ran under the Roderick ticket for Ward 4. Okay, nobody knows what he looks like. Maria Matarazzo on November 3rd is leering outside the house of Michael Citta, late hours of the night. Why? Okay. She is a realtor, a licensed realtor in New Jersey. You're not looking at homes at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Give me a break. And you're not doing it by yourself. You're on his property. You're trespassing. Charges have been filed. We'll see where they all end up. This is like a soap opera, like as the river flows, as I always call it. But you will not find a more respected person in Tom's River than Superintendent Michael Citta. And I don't care if you want to come out and you want to tell me. And yesterday, Bill Spadia on 101.5 had, his talk was superintendents get paid too much money. That was his real thing. But he happened to have the platform of Tom's River. And let's be clear, Michael Citta is not looking for an $80,000 raise. The past, I think it's 3 years, he has not taken the increase in his current contract. I think he's somewhere around $215,000, $230,000 in that neighborhood right now. That makes him like the 140th ranked salaried superintendent in the state of New Jersey at the sixth largest municipality in the state of New Jersey. His salary is not the reason the taxes went up in Tom's River because the school taxes went up. Okay. That is 199% the fault of Phil Murphy and the Department of Education and Steve Sweeney's S2 bill that basically screwed up the school funding formula, and it has not been fixed. And I have no confidence it'll get fixed in this administration. That's why our school taxes went up. It is not because the Board of Education voted to raise taxes. It is because the Board of Education, Toms River, said we will not raise taxes on the residents of Toms River. And the State Department of Education said, oh, yes, you will, and mandated them to do it. Let's go back. So back and forth. So last night was the Toms River Board of Education meeting. A lot of people in the audience, a lot of people. And first one, up after some, student awards, some amazing students we have here in Toms River. Uh, Michael Citta had already put out a press release, and so he made some comments. And in the audience, never ever before seen at a Board of Education meeting, is Daniel Rodrick sitting third row, right in front of the board, and Jonathan Salonis, the business administrator for Toms River, who's a Bayville resident, not a voter, not a taxpayer in Toms River. Okay. And they are just glaring at the board and glaring at Michael Citta as he gets up to speak and as he sits. The disrespect of just doing that and being there. But why was he there? He was there because that's what bullies do. He didn't get up and say a word other than basically yelling at people in the audience. There was almost an incident between Salonis and a representative of the audience. Uh, but I got to tell you, the most amazing part to me, and I'm going to fast forward real quick, was when he left. Okay, the meeting ended. He got up and left, and he chirped a couple times at Council President Ashley Lamb. He gave some notices and high signs to Paolo Pasquarella, who's his person, and Matarazzo, and he was looking at them and everything like that. But when he got up and left, I have never seen a room where everybody in that room hated one person so much. They were heckling at him. They're yelling at him. He's yelling back. He made some rude and inappropriate comments at people. I, he has destroyed Toms River. If for any reason at all, we have become the laughing stock because of Dan Rodrick. And anybody who out there who wants to say, oh no, it's because of Phil Brilliant, because Phil Brilliant makes this all public, because Phil Brilliant has a recall to Daniel Rodrick, because Phil Brilliant basically brings the truth out to the residents of Toms River. No, it is Daniel Rodrick who basically is the fraud. He's the one who creates all this. And it was evident last night. You have a room full of parents, teachers, administrators. I saw a lot of people there I knew, and they are all basically there because Daniel Rodrick is a bad guy, and they know he's bad, and everything he touches goes to crap. So last night, Rodrick has asked for Citta's resignation. Citta makes it very clear that he will not cower to the politics that are meddling in this district. We do not have a failing school district, Mr. Rodrick. We have a success story at every turn. Okay. Rodrick said nothing. He sat there. It's all in the papers. Go to the press today, Asbury Park Press. It's all over social media. But I do want to share one clip, if I can do this right, and I hope I do, okay? Because it is clear that that Board of Education president Not an advertisement for Ocean First. It happened to have the cup here and holding my coffee to keep it hot. Board of Education President Ashley Lamb, the wife of Justin Lamb, who we saw at the end of the day make a big turn at the end of 2025 against Daniel Rodrick's ways. Um, but Ashley Lamb, she's not having any of it. And if I can do this, and I always, I always say I'm never going to do this, and then I do it, and you all laugh at me. But it's important. And let's see. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I have it frozen right now. I am going to play this. You got to listen to this because if this doesn't tell you that there is something wrong in Tom's River, I don't know what will. And it starts off with her telling you about a telephone conversation on January 1st, 2025. Okay. She is on the Board of Education. She is going to be looking to be the president of the Board of Education this year. And Daniel Rodrick, the mayor of Toms River, has nothing to do with the school district. And by the way, he has no kids in the Toms River school system presently. His daughter goes to private school. His son has graduated high school. Hopefully, he has gone far away from home. But here it is. And hopefully you can see and hear this.
Because I am so disgusted with what is going on. January of 2025, it is the day of our reorganization meeting, and I'm at home getting ready to come to the district. I get a phone call from Dan Rodrick, and all he says to me is that if I wanted to be the board president of the Board of Education, I should have called him and asked him for it. Now, I have no idea why I would need to call you and ask you for anything that has to do with this district, because you don't work here and you don't run it and you don't own it, and you should get your own house in order. You think that you're some sort of dragon that needs slaying. You think that you can make up anything that you want. You write ridiculous press releases. You write ridiculous letters. You wrote one to the State Ethics Commission and you signed both of these women's names on it. We know they didn't write it. You wrote one to my neighbors a couple of years ago. I think this year you wrote maybe 4 of them from made up people and sent them around town. We all know your MO. We don't have time for you. We are not interested, and we don't care. And if you want to come from this man right here, if you're going to come after Mike Citta, who is actually a man and a gentleman and an educational leader, all things you are not, you will have to come through me and the rest of this board and all of this amazing staff that you see in this room, and you will not be successful. So you should take my advice and you should go get your own house in order, because you can't even make it through one of your council meetings because you, sir, are a disgrace. That's why Middletown got rid of you, an educator who was fired for failure to educate. What are you even doing here? Because nobody in this town wants you here, and no one cares what you have to say about this district. You want to call elected officials all over and tell them that you're going to take over this Board of Education? I invite you to try, because you will have to get through me first, and let me tell you something, you don't have what it takes. With that, I wish everybody in this district a happy and healthy New Year, a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas. Congratulations to all of you, to all of your students, to all of your kids, because we know that Toms River is the best district in the state of New Jersey, no matter what this person thinks.
Wow. Okay. I don't think it could be any clearer than that. Okay. The hate that you could hear from her voice, you could feel it go through you. And again, not going to say that this is what I've been talking about all along, but this is what he does and he generates, because he doesn't know where to stay and when to stay in his lane. He has nothing to do with the school board. And in my book, this is because he wants a job here in Toms River, and he needs to pack the Board of Education, and he needs to get people to start thinking like him, and he can't do it. And that's his struggle right now. There was a rambling before that, and I'm not even going to play it, but please go watch the Board of Education meeting, the highlights of it from last night, there was a rambling by Paulo Pasquarella. And let's be straight again, okay? So she's a Board of Education member. Dan Rodrick funded her election. She's on there as a Dan Rodrick um, supporter, confidant. Her husband is Kim Pasquarella, who's the township prosecutor, who has a cushy position on the Toms River MUA sitting right to my right. But nobody seems to attack him for taking benefits from the Toms River MUA ratepayers. And by the way, his benefits are $44,000. Mine are 14. He takes the $2,000 stipend also. Nobody tends to beat him up. Come on, Phil Stilton. Why don't you go beat up Kim Pasquarella? Township prosecutor, so he's taking taxpayer money to be the township prosecutor. And his son, Paulo's stepson, is Peter Pasquarella, otherwise known as Peter Griffin, who's the township attorney, well over $100,000. And from what I hear from not only people in Toms River, but people who were involved in the affordable housing, okay, they want to challenge his law degree because they're not quite sure if he didn't get it from a gumball machine. And we see him at the board meetings. Let me see. Let me get the. Is that Peter Pasquarella or what? Watch the board meetings. That's all he can do, you know. And then he can sit there and go like this and make fun of residents. Hopefully, he's not long for Toms River. But Paolo Pasquarella went on this rampage about why she took her daughters out of school and she's disappointed in the Board of Ed. She's on the freaking Board of Ed. Make a change. Do something about it. Don't just get up there and then she reads clearly from her phone something that was email or text to her from Daniel Rodrick that she can't even read the words. And when I cut myself just now, I got so excited. And asks for a vote of no confidence. That's not me stuttering. That's how she said it because she couldn't say the word. And they need a second on the motion. What's not in the video, but it is so clear for everybody who's there, and I wish the camera moved. Maria Matarazzo, again, confidant to Daniel Rodrick, goes, "What's the motion?" And Council President Ashley Lamb says it's a vote of no confidence for Superintendent Mike Citta. We need a second. And Matarazzo turns her head, looks directly at Daniel Rodrick in the audience, and Rodrick's going like this. And she turns her mic off and says nothing. I can only imagine the phone call she got last night or what Salonis is doing today when he called her into his office. Because people usually don't survive a day on the job when they turn against Daniel Rodrick. Because vendettas, is what he does. And that's what he has enjoyed doing as mayor of Toms River. But it is becoming very evident. He is not a popular person here in Toms River. And even in Irvington, we're hearing things coming out. And we'll see. But he is making a mockery of Toms River at everything he does. And one of these things is going to stick. Superintendent Michael Citta is not going to back off on somebody walking onto his property and peering in his windows. And someone's going to turn because that is a threat upon your family when someone comes on your property. And what are you going to do if somebody threatens your family? What would you do? You would defend your family to the end. That story is not over yet. But I am always thinking, because that's one of my problems. 2 days after Thanksgiving, Phil Stilton, Daniel Rodrick, and Shore News Media start hammering on me about my Toms River MUA insurance, health benefits, and my $2,000 stipend for 1 hour a month. Again, I've gone through, it's not 1 hour a month. We have one meeting a month, but I have an engineering meeting, all these, I can go through it all again. Okay. And the minute I said is, where did this come from and why now? Is it because He didn't win the vote to get me to take over the MUA and get me off in January. We'll see if I get renewed by this current administration. Don't know. The upcoming administration, I'm sorry. That's up to them. We'll see what happens. But I was like, there's something bigger. There's something else going on. And lo and behold, we start hearing, we start seeing, and then we have the council meeting on December 10th, affordable housing. And Daniel Rodrick, who had originally said, and put in the newspaper, I can never do this. There it is. See, no new apartments. This is the Daniel Rodrick fake newspaper, and there are going to be new apartments. And there's about 178, 200 affordable units, which means about 800 to 1,000 real units built in Toms River. Okay. And that was not what he had said. He said, no, now there's going to be. And he had to kind of spin back a little, but he spun it so much, double talk Dan. People had no idea, their heads were spinning and didn't know what was going on. Okay. I've got the court papers in front of me here. And, oh, did I close it? Oh, maybe I closed it. I apologize. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. So new units, 2008, 2008 Route 37. That's block 796, lot 3. It is the existing shopping center. I'm going to share again because I want to make my point here. Because my point is he's going after Superintendent Citta. What is coming next? What does Dan Rodrick have up his sleeve? Because he's setting up a smokescreen and he's the king of diversion. Okay. So here's a shopping center right here, 2008 Route 37. A 2-floor expansion atop. So they're going to build on top of that 20 residential units, including 4 district deed notice. Not approved yet. Not approved. That's going to be the future. And then there's this Route 70 everybody keeps talking about, and it's got all these lot and blocks and everything. So let's take a look at the Toms River GIS. This is really cool. And by the way, if you like all this stuff, you should really go online. The GIS is stuff cool as you can look at all these different layers. So if you can see my mouse, this right here, this all right here is what is going to be developed. Brand new develops. These are trees now. These are woods. These are going to be a brand new development. Daniel Rodrick said, no new apartments. We're getting new apartments. Okay. This is Lake Ridge. So if you want to know where it is, this is the Wawa on Route 70. So North Dover, more trees going. This, by the way, appears also to be a mixed use, which is going to get shopping as well as a second floor. And you look here, it's owned by I don't have it right here, but it's this suburban uh realty. It's a Lakewood here it is, Suburban Agency Inc. This is their tax bill in Lakewood, New Jersey. I looked it up. They're on River Road, which I guess is Route 9. So what is going to happen now? Because he's all after Mike Citta. I think it's a diversion. He can't win that battle. So it's either I want a job in Toms River so I don't have to drive to Irvington, or he's got something up his sleeve that we just don't know yet. And I'm going to show you one more thing because I want to make sure everybody is aware of this. And last night, I wish I had petitions with me, but this is the website to recall Daniel Rodrick. The clock is ticking. There are 38 days left. We'll do a count and we'll put a number out on January 1st, but we're over 11,400. A couple people came in yesterday and dropped off some more petitions, and we'll see where we go. But this is the website, and if you go right here, you can see. So we have this Sunday, The 21st, 11 to 1 at Castle Park. We'll be collecting signatures, but we're also going to be out and about all weekend in neighborhoods because one thing was evident last night, people want to sign because they don't like Dan Rodrick and they want him gone. If you want us to come to you, recall Daniel Rodrick at gmail.com. It is that easy. And every day in my office here at Brilliant Environmental at 163 Route 37 West, you have Terrence Turnback's office at 2 Hooper Avenue. You have Farrow's Teas at 873 Vischer Boulevard and Manforty Chiropractic right at 541 behind me on Lakehurst Road. Get out and sign because Daniel Rodrick is bad for Toms River. And watch the videos from the Board of Education because someone said it last night. People move to Toms River for two reasons. One, a lot of retirees come down here. But two, because it's a great place to raise a family. And if you have somebody attacking the school systems and doing what Daniel Roderick's doing, you're not going to get those people who want to move in here. And they're going to miss out on the opportunity to raise their family in a great place to raise their kids. I'm Phil Brilliant to Simply Brilliant. Have a great weekend. Be safe, stay warm, and I'll see you on Tuesday.